Edgar Wright's back. He's back and he's
Yeah,
he's got a new film, The Running Man. It's a remake of an 80s film and it's adapted from a Stephen King novel. Edgar Wright's an interesting director because he has very specific style that with his last film, Last Night in Soho, he kind of began to depart from. And from the premise of this film, you would think this would be a more return to his style. But it's not. It's again a different kind of film from Edgar Wright. And as a filmmaker who I think has made pretty much nothing but bangers, there has to come a time when a film comes out that just isn't quite up there. And I wish I was sitting here saying something other than I think this is my least favorite Edgar Wright film. I wasn't massively vibing with The Running Man. I really wish that I was.
yeah, same here. I wasn't excited about this film. I kept seeing the trailer all the time. I'm hoping to be wrong. Maybe something to surprise me. And then all the way throughout the film, I'm waiting for a gotcha moment. But it didn't. Nothing happened. I understand why Edgar didn't come back to his style. I miss it, but it'll be really interesting to see what kind of stories that he's wanted to tell in Big 2025. And I can't help but notice that this is another Stephen King adaptation. We're talking
So
Stephen
many.
King's Life of Chuck, The Long Walk, and then this.
Yeah, we also have an It TV show at the moment. We had The Monkey earlier this year. I think last year we had Salem's Lot. Stephen King stays employed.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy for that. It's interesting what Edgar was trying to do for this particular movie because for me, I haven't read the book or seen the original movie, but from what people were saying, it took the plot of the book and then vibe of the movie together to make this.
Right.
This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
The plot is we're in this somewhat pseudo-futuristic, massively capitalist version of America with a massive class divide. One thing that lower class people do is go on the show called The Running Man, where basically they're hunted for 30 days by people who try and kill them. They do this to try and get money that could change their lives. And we follow one guy, Ben. He wants to support his wife and child. And so he goes in a desperate plea. And yeah, then is kind of hunted for 30 days. There's a lot of stuff that explores class divide and the system being very oppressive and squashing the working people. That's very Stephen King. That's very
Yeah.
reminiscent of. I was drawing parallels to The Long Walk the
Yes,
whole time.
exactly.
Yes, it's so
Exactly with me.
similar.
I was like, I've seen this movie somewhere, and it was quite recent.
It's interesting to compare the two because of how much more I would say this film has going on. It's interesting that you said it tries to take this tone of the original because it's kind of trying to be this really poignant and powerful social commentary while also being a fun 80s flick and also kind of having elements of pastiche in there. Quite often I was just flicking back and forth. Ugh, I wish I loved it. I really do. And I can see what they're attempting here, but I was the whole time just at arm's length. I think I was completely whelmed. I wasn't
Yes.
underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was
Yeah.
I just was. In that cinema, I existed.
And
And
Super
the
Screen?
movie, no, just Screen 8, which is a great
Oh.
screen, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's a
no,
great screen.
not
Yeah.
not quite super. Were you super screen?
Yeah, I was Super Screen. Yeah.
Okay.
We should do like a ranking of of the screens in
Wow.
Cineworld. Yeah, yeah, and just like
Brilliant.
thinking
Yeah.
what number
Our
is great.
local, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't really get into the whole movie emotionally. I wish the movie just went a bit further because I just felt nothing really for these characters. There was that emotional connection that little bit just at the beginning somewhere, Ben trying to get money for his wife and daughter. But the movie just like, yo, we're going to get action. We're going to get action now. We're going to do everything that we can. And I'm like, let's slow down. I mean, we do have a bit of quiet moments there and there in the story, but doesn't really hits you. It's just Glen Powell.
He's great. Like it's worth saying
He's
Glen
great.
Powell,
Yeah.
he's very watchable. He's so angry in this film and I very
Oh, he
much
goes
enjoyed
berserk.
watching
Oh,
that.
he goes
He really
berserk,
does,
berserk.
right? I liked watching that. I liked this whole concept of the different kind of contestants you can get in The Running Man and he is the guy who will go the distance, but he'll also be the guy who is absolutely livid the whole time. And there is so much of this that you could point out and say, oh, it's like an 80s film. And I think there are positives to that, but there are also negatives. And I think that you've hit the nail on the head with the wife character being just the wife. What is her
Yes.
personality? Wife. There's nothing to. And we've got Jayme Lawson, who gets so little screen time.
That's why exactly what I mean. We should have gotten to see more of these characters than just the wife character.
Yeah, like she's
Yeah.
good as well. And there's even bits, there's scenes where it's like the wife flashback, where it's her and the daughter on a sunny day laughing at the camera like, and be like, oh, I miss you so much. And it felt massively shallow. And for that to be the protagonist's whole deal, like,
It's very one-dimensional, I think.
I think so
It's just
too.
he's mostly angry about everything. That's what it is. He's just angry about just everybody. He's just angry at everybody. It struggles to identify the central conflicts of the story. But one thing that intrigued me was the video manipulation or AI, which is quite terrifying. Like in the movie, Ben does certain messages to show that he's still in the game, like, hey, I'm here, guys, still alive. But what the video company does, the TV company, they manipulate the videos and make Ben into like this horrible person, and they say some outlandish stuff. And also in the start of the show, he also gets accused of something with his face on somebody else's body. So that to me was like, that's great. This movie should have explored about that, about like identity and the dangerous use of AI. Everything's fake. How you trust that? But what the movie does, it's very on the nose. It just shouts you down like, hey, the rich people, they're evil. And we know this. It's too on the nose. That's what I'm trying to say. The movie's just too on the nose on everything.
Very on the nose, absolutely. I think that the best part about the film, at least for me, was this world that has been constructed. The whole view of this uber capitalist consumerist society, they do that very well. All the different streets with the holograms and the little cameras that follow them, and the way that things are staged, like the TV show being really ridiculous. We see a couple of other TV shows. There's one that's very obviously a parody of the Kardashians, which is the Americanos, and that's fun. I like those little bits of world building. There's even a bit, so Colman Domingo plays the host of the Running Man show, and he's great. You can't really go wrong with any of the cast in this film. I love me some Colman Domingo.
Oh, he's
and
great.
he really hams it up. And there's a bit where there are two boys who have helped on the hunt, and he's like, well done, boys, you also get a lifetime supply of Fun Twink cereal. And it's I just loved that little element of these things are ingrained, the corporations and the promotions and selling you what they want you to think. It's all gonna be very closely knit, and I very much enjoyed the other characters as well. Ben meets a couple of other characters on his way through the 30 days, and I think all of them were, I kind of think the side characters were the most interesting part of the film rather than Ben himself. Glen Powell is great, but I don't know if I believed him as this working class hero. I don't know if I believed him as this guy who is destroyed by the system. Whereas we get to see some other people, like these two brothers and a daughter with cancer, and we explore what life is like for them in Boston. And we also get to see Michael Cera as this underground revolutionary, and that scene really spoofed it up. It was like something from The Naked Gun. There's a bit where he explains about this hot dog cart, and it goes really melodramatic. I loved that. I think it was great. But again, it's this really difficult line that the film never quite gets right between the serious and the hard-hitting and the parody, the spoof.
Thematically, it's a mess. There are themes there. It's about class divide, but it's so zany, but tries to be serious at the same time. The action is pretty good. Nothing mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think that it's not Edgar Wright. I think it's a weird thing. He really departed from his usual style in Last Night in Soho, and that got a lot of people criticizing him. I think that's a stupid criticism, because filmmakers, they are allowed to grow and they're allowed to do something different. And also, Last Night in Soho gave us so many other different, incredible things. Like
it's a great film. We love that. So if you want to hear
amazing.
We done that Yonders.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Some time ago, yeah.
The dark days of the podcast.
Yes.
But
the dark period, the dark arc right there, everybody. Yeah.
Before I edited all the shit stuff
Before I had a proper microphone.
The thing was, there were those brilliant dance sequences where Annie Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie were swapping, and there was some really great stuff like with Dreams and Reality. I thought that was amazing. It really was a stupid criticism that he wasn't doing the classic Cornetto trilogy thing. So what? Filmmakers can grow, they can do something different. And I was really, really worried that he was going to just retreat into himself, and he was going to just do all the intense editing and the fast camera moves, that we are very familiar with for Edgar Wright. I'm really happy that he didn't do that, but at the same time, he didn't add any other special sauce to replace it. And so it was just kind of like fine. There are a couple of really great shots. There's one where Ben is standing next to his wanted poster and he turns as the poster turns as well. And that was great. And there's also a really great shot where he's running through a motel and it's following him. But nothing really massively surprised me or stood out to me. And I think also that is because everything's in the trailer, dude. Like, I don't know how many times you saw that trailer, but I saw it enough times to basically see the entire film, and all the best shots and all the best action beats are in that trailer, and it was such a disappointment.
Damn. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is already in the trailer. People who do like 3 movies in a day at the cinema, I'm looking at you, Tom. We both did this.
Me?
We did 4 movies in a
What?
day as well. And seeing The Running Man, it's like, we've seen it, we know what's going to happen. And also, there was 3 writers in this movie. We got Edgar and then
Right.
2 others. It's interesting. Were they trying to be faithful to the adaptation or the remake? Again, there's some sort of things that I think Edgar could have implemented. It does look like a typical action movie, which I think that's what they were going for. But for an Edgar Wright, it's interesting to see him. He's trying to do a remake.
There are a couple of scenes in this where they use licensed music, but it just feels like someone slaps it on. It doesn't feel intentional.
I'll put some Crazy Frog in and just
Yeah,
maybe-
exactly. I don't have a problem with them not doing the exact Edgar Wright thing, but you could have told me this was Marvel director number 49. I would have been like, oh yeah, okay, fine.
Whoa!
Like, it didn't. I've got to wonder if this film is going to be a hit or not, because it looks like it's cost a lot of money. You can see that
At least
budget is
£1.
high. At
Yeah.
least one, yeah.
That'll get you somewhere in Poundland. Yeah.
Yeah, because Edgar Wright, weirdly enough, isn't always a box office hit. Scott Pilgrim and Last Night in Soho underperformed, and you do wonder, is there going to be an audience for this film? I don't really know.
Well, last night in
Soho,
I knew you were going to say that. I was like,
Aha!
aha. Yeah, so last night, I went to the cinema to the super screen to see the movie, and there was a good amount of people. Are they there to see Edgar Wright or Glen Powell? So
Yeah, well, I mean, Glen Powell also has made some really great stuff. I do think that he will be a big leading man of the next decade. This film is like 2 hours 15, something like that. They pack a lot in. Like, we get to see a lot of people. Katy O'Brien's in this, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace, William H. Macy, who is second billed but only gets one scene. These are people that it's great to see and fun to kind of explore their little corner of the world. There's an element of globe trotting about this film, and I think they do a good job in making you invested in the hunt. The strongest this film gets is when it's just about that, ingrained of this journey from the upper class corporate sectors to the working people's rundown, impoverished districts. The whole motel siege and journey into Michael Cera's house. That's all really great stuff, even though a lot of that best stuff was in the trailers. But I think we should probably go into spoilers, because there is
an ending. There is an ending.
Oh boy, is there an ending?
Again, I've heard the ending is very different to the book, so I
Okay.
wondered if Edgar wanted to change the ending. I don't know the ending. I'll find out one day.
It didn't feel very Stephen King. It felt much more Hollywood of an ending, where Ben Richards inspires a revolt that eventually tears down the company that are making The Running Man and begins social change. And again, it didn't feel like the right movie to do that. It felt like, if you're going to tell this story about class injustice and the rich taking advantage, you can't do it with as much tongue in cheek and then at the end be like, yeah, uprising and we're all okay, because I don't think that's very realistic. I don't think that's how it would have worked. And so I think that the system doesn't change. There's no way that you can destroy something that's so ingrained. And I love this whole idea of Richards lives, chanting it at the end, and like throughout it's kind of spray painted and he becomes this, as I say, like working class hero. I love that, but I don't think it was ever presented quite with enough punch. I think that Edgar put too much comedy into this to make that bit hit. So, yeah, it sure does end.
It sure does end. And another note to that, there wasn't a strong character arc to have him be this image of Richard Lives. I don't know what to explain.
Sure.
It's like, oh, okay, he just survives the plane explosion. And I was like, oh, okay, he just survives then. sure. But
Yeah.
I think what the movie should have done was like made it a bit subtle. Say Richard lives, and it kind of like, oh, that's interesting. And it could start something with this.
We get to see one of the brothers, Daniel Ezra's character, doing his little show, being like, oh, they actually faked this whole thing, and Richards lives, and he was in an escape pod, and they all did it for the views. I thought that was really interesting. And wouldn't it, yeah, I agree with you. It would have been so cool if they'd have left that on a, like, did he actually live? No, but instead we get this scene where he returns to his wife and child. And it felt very
I don't know why it felt like
boring.
Terminator. It felt like Terminator
Okay.
to me.
Him standing there.
Yeah, it's him standing
Yeah.
there, just like I'm from the future. or
Dun,
something like
dun,
that.
dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the constant tonal push. For example, Josh Brolin's character very much was a parody of the network exec and the people who only care about the views and really abuse and take advantage of lower class people for their shows. I wish I could truly figure out why, but it just didn't land for me. I don't know what Edgar Wright's going to do next. Apparently he is working with Simon Pegg on something for the first time in a while. That could be really interesting. But I am disappointed because I think that the Edgar Wright of Last Night in Soho, who I thought was doing interesting and unconventional things, I don't think we have seen him again here.
Yeah, Edgar Wright. Where's he gone? Where's he gone, everybody?
Who's this guy? Wedgar Ite.
There's
His
a word.
evil twin.
Evil twin. This is a very strange film, I gotta say, across his past films.
It's definitely my least favorite Edgar Wright film by quite a margin. And that's a real shame, but it's always going to happen. As you get older, sometimes a filmmaker will make things that are no longer for you and you would have had your moment with them. Or sometimes a filmmaker just makes a film that you're not into and then the next one, we're back. We're
Yeah.
right on there.
This is how you find out that your goat is washed.
Yeah. I hope not. I really
I hope
do.
not.
This is like his first, I would say, strictly action film.
True.
And I would also say that this is an attempt to be his most political film. So there's stuff
Interesting.
here that I
Yes.
think is new for him and is doing new stuff. And it's very practical. And there's so many great elements of the action. There's a bit where Glen Powell jumps off a bridge and there's an explosion. And I don't think the explosion was real, but the bridge jump was real. They did that a bunch of times. Really cool. There's a lot of stuff that you can look at here and be like, wow. But yeah, this one wasn't quite for me. We didn't run fast enough.
No,
We ran
I
too
think
close to the sun.
ran too close to the sun. Wow, that's kind of like poetic. How do you run to the sun? Is it like Rocky style, like you just run forever, like into the sunset or something like that? Or
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
yeah, imagine like you run into the cinema and you just fell down the stairs. Boom, the Running Man.
That's a title drop if I've ever heard one. You
That'd
fall on
be-
the floor and then it's bang, the running man.
The Running Man. He fails to run.
What is this? Joker 2019? God damn it.
Oh god damn it! The movie.
What are you going to give it out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I think I'm going to give it a 5. I feel so bad. Sorry,
Me
Edgar.
too. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Edgar. You might be listening. Like, no, I failed cinema. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Hey, he's got better things to do to listen to our wittering. Thank you everybody who did listen to our wittering. If you're watching on YouTube and you liked it, you can like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can follow and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. And next week, we're watching Wicked for Good. And I have to say, I saw the trailer for that yesterday and I cried. I shed a tear at that trailer, but I still think it's going to be bad.
I love how you like put so much heart into that, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be bad." Have you seen the Wicked movie last year? Then
The movie, we did it on the podcast.
oh, we did. Yeah.
Come on. We got
no.
so many great comments.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's comments. Yeah. I completely forgot that we did Wicked part 1.
But yes, you can send us your thoughts on Wicked for Good at ousetimefilmpod@gmail.com.
Or for
Let us know
bad.
your
I'm sorry.
Wicked for bad, awful. And we'll answer it right here in the podcast next week.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at Out of Time Film Pod to see our incredible thumbnails from Zain, on Twitter for more thoughts from Tom and me, and TikTok to see edited clips, which are all also on Instagram, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And you can find links to that all in the description below. Thanks to Elle for the excellent theme, and Ronan for vocals as always. And I think that's everything. Take away given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.